everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, I know how a lot of you like these guitar lessons that are solo and that you don't have to have any accompaniment. And that's what this week's lesson is. You don't have to sing, you don't have to have another guitar player, you don't even have to have a jam track. And so this is something you can do by yourself on an acoustic or an electric guitar. I came up with this a while ago doing some fingerstyle, picking apart chords, and a little melody sort of came out of it, and I thought that would make for a nice lesson. And so anyway, if you're new to fingerstyle playing, this would be a great way to sort of jump into that. Or if you've been playing fingerstyle for a long time, this would also be just a kind of a fun little thing to learn. If you want to download the tablature for this, you can go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP039. I'll also include an audio version of this, so you don't have to go back and watch the video. You can just play along with an MP3 and practice that way. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the lesson. Alright, so let's go ahead and learn the first part. Now I always like to take a song like this and break it down into little parts. We'll learn each part, and then at the end we'll put them all together and be able to play a song. So the first part that we're going to learn sounds like this. Okay, now here's what's happening. This is all around the A sharp chord. This is an A sharp major chord. And so if you think of really what it is, you think of an A chord, you bar here on the 2nd fret. Now you're going to slide everything up because it's A sharp. So we're playing it here. So now this finger replaces the nut, which was here before. So that's how you kind of mentally can visualize it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to bar the first 4 strings on the 3rd fret. And I'll show you why you use your pinky. You'll see why you use your pinky for this in just a second. And then I take my pointer finger and I come up here and I play. I always just kind of lay it across and kind of bar the first 5 strings there on the 1st fret. Even though theoretically you're only really fretting that 5th fret 1st string, because this is taking the fretting for the other strings. But that's just how I think of it. I think of it as kind of like a double bar. So this one starts by barring the first 5. This one starts by barring the first 4. Once you have that shape, you can play that major chord all up and down the neck. So it's a good shape to know if you're not familiar with it. But okay, so I'm going to assume now that you've got the A sharp chord. Oh, and the other thing is you're only playing the middle 4 strings. You're not playing the 1 or you're not playing the 6th. Okay, now we're going to focus all of our energy on the right hand. So we're going to set the left hand and leave it, and then we're going to now be down here. So the right hand, the first thing that happens is, now when I did that, I took my thumb and my ring finger. Thumb is on the 5th string. Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to get an angle where you can view this. Thumb is on the 5th string. Ring finger is on the 2nd string, and you pluck both of them at the same time like this. That's the first thing that happens. Now after that, then you take your pointer finger, come to the 4th string, middle finger to the 3rd string. So we have, those are your first kind of 3 notes that you play. Okay, now after that, then you let go of the 1st fret with your pointer finger so that you can play. Now you play you're playing strings 5 and 2 at the same time with your thumb and ring finger. But this time, since your pointer finger's off the fretboard, now you're playing that low A string or the open 5th string. So we have, now we're going to play the 5th string, we're going to play the 2nd string again with your ring finger, and this time I take my ring finger. This is why I use my pinky. I mentioned I would tell you why I did that earlier. I take my ring finger and I come up here on the same fret, on the 3rd fret, and I play the 6th string. So 6th string, 3rd fret with my ring finger. So now I've got, so you can see that the fretted notes are, whoops, there we go. The fretted notes are like that. So again, the bar stays, and now my ring finger comes up and does the bass note on the 3rd fret there. So okay, so let's back up. We have, and again, if you have the tablature, this is all spelled out for you, and it makes it nice and easy to follow along. So again, when we come here, it's ring finger on the 2nd string, thumb goes down to the 6th string. But again, pointer finger on 4, middle on 3, ring on 2. Alright, so now we come to the next part, which is going to sound like this. And that's a C minor chord, really, that we're just kind of embellishing. And what I do to make the C minor chord, so let's start with the left hand, bar the 3rd fret, and then I take my middle finger and I come to the 4th fret 2nd string, pinky's on the 5th fret 3rd string, and ring finger is on the 5th fret 4th string. And I'm playing really just those middle 4 strings. And just as a visual, it's the A minor chord that you used to play in the A minor in the first position. Take that A minor chord, slide everything up like this, and let your finger replace the nut. That's what you're doing shape-wise. You're creating that chord. So when you play it up here with it barring the 3rd fret, it's a C minor chord. So, but the way I played it was like that. And so I start by actually taking my middle finger off the fretboard. Keep everything else there. Take your middle finger off, and then take the thumb and put it on the 5th string. Middle finger goes on the 3rd string, and play those two at the same time like this. So that's the first thing you do. Now I take my ring finger and I come up here and play the 2nd string. Notice the middle finger's still off the fretboard the whole time. And then I do this thing where I use my ring finger and my pointer finger at the same time to pluck strings 2 and 4. See how they're on the right hand there? And when I pluck them, as soon as I do, I hammer on with my middle finger. I hammer it on to the 2nd string on the 4th fret, like that, which is where it should be to create that C minor chord. So it's see how I did those two fingers at the same time? Okay. Then I take my middle finger and play the 3rd string. So, and that's really that 2nd part. Alright, so let's put those two parts together. So we have okay, and then after that we have, and this is fairly easy because I'm really playing, it's an F chord with an A in the bass. But what I'm doing is I'm playing, my pointer finger goes down on the 1st fret 2nd string, my middle finger goes down on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and my ring finger goes down on the 3rd fret 4th string. And I'm playing those middle 4 strings like this. So really this is, if you think of an F chord, these are notes that are in the F chord. You've just now got an open 5th string, so you got an A in the bass. So to play that, again, we use the 5th string, or 5th string with our thumb, and then ring finger on the 2nd string. Pluck both of those at the same time. Then we do string 4, 3, and 2. That's just with pointer, middle, and ring. So okay, so now we have now we come to the D7th part, which sounds like this. And for the D7th part, I'm putting my pointer finger down on the 1st fret 2nd string. My ring finger goes down on the 2nd fret 3rd string. And then my middle finger comes up here to the 2nd fret 6th string, so that you've got this F sharp note in the bass. And so if you're thinking of a D7th chord, a lot of you are used to making a D7th like this in first position. So it's kind of the same thing. You've got these two notes that are the same. The difference is you've got this bass note here, and it's a really nice. I really tend to make this shape when I'm making a D7th chord because there's something kind of cool about having that F sharp in the bass. Gives it a different feel. So Now that you know how to fret it with the left hand, the right hand is just ring finger on the 2nd string and thumb on the 6th string, and you pluck both of those at the same time. That's the first thing that you do. Then pointer finger on the 4th string, middle finger on the 3rd string, and then we do pointer finger back on the 4th string. So we have... And the reason I did that instead of going like this, you could do it either way, but by this little trick here, by going back to that open D string, it allows you to be able to take your hand off the fretboard while that note is ringing out and position it for the next thing that you're going to do. So you have, see, and so you're always going to kind of look for little shortcuts like that when you're doing a fingerstyle arrangement, because you don't have anyone else to cover for you. So you have to, sometimes you have to get creative. And so that was my little solution to make it easier to get from this chord to the G minor chord, which is the chord we're going to next. Okay, so let's recap. What we have thus far is okay, now we go to the G minor chord, and for that I bar, again I'm barring the 3rd fret, all 6 strings with my pointer finger. And the G minor chord though, I just take my pinky and I come up here to the 5th fret, 4th string, and my ring finger goes to the 5th fret, 5th string. And when you can actually use, you could play all 6 strings with that, but that's a G minor chord. And again, just to visualize how we're making that, if you think of an E minor, the nut is the bar, we're sliding it up, and now we're replacing the nut with our bar here, and that's how we're able to change the key and make that a G minor. Okay, so from the D7th you have that, and then we're going to play. Now what I'm doing there is I'm starting by taking my middle finger on the 3rd string, and by the way, the left hand we're going to ignore now. It stays the same. So we're going to focus on the right hand. Middle finger goes on the 3rd string, thumb comes to the 6th string. Play both of those at the same time. Pointer finger goes to the 4th string. Then my ring finger comes up and grabs the 2nd string. Middle finger grabs the 3rd string. So let me do it slowly. Again. Alright, so from the D7th it sounds like this. Okay, then I have this little walk down that goes. And here's what we're doing for that. This is actually pretty simple. I take my pinky. Now you may want to use your ring finger on this, but it's easier for me to use my pinky. It's on the 4th fret, 2nd string. Then I take my pointer finger and come to the 3rd fret, 5th string, and I'm playing those 2 notes at the same time. So it's thumb on the 5th string, ring finger on the 2nd string. You're going to pluck both of those at the same time. Now after you do that, then I'm going to play this open 3rd string with my middle finger. See it? And then I'm going to slide my pinky down 1 fret, so now it's on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. My pointer finger, however, slides down 2 frets, so it comes down to the 1st fret, 5th string. And I play those 2 strings again, the 2nd string and the 5th string at the same time. Same fingering with the right hand. And then I'm going to again play the open 3rd string. So that open G string rings out for here and here. And then the last chord I'm going to play is one that we've already learned, which is that F chord with the A in the bass. So I'm not going to show you how to refret that one, but that's the one we just learned. So it's just that F chord with the A in the bass. And the fingering on it with the right hand is strings 2 and 5 at the same time, and then string 4, 3, and 2. And that's really all there is to that first part. So let me play through it. repeat again there, and so you'd play through it one more time, and then it comes to the second part. So the second part starts with a D minor, and what I do for that is play a D minor chord down here in first position, pointer finger on the first fret, first string, middle finger on the second fret, third string, and pinky. I use my pinky for the D. You may want to use your ring finger again, but I use my pinky on the third fret, second string, and you can play those top 4 strings to get a D minor. But the way I finger it with the right hand is thumb goes on the 4th string and ring finger goes on the 1st string, and you're going to pluck both of those at the same time. Then I'm going to play string 3 with my pointer, 2 with my middle, and back to 1 with my ring. So it's like this. Alright, so then after the D minor chord, then I come to an E7th chord, which gives it kind of a bluesy feel. I always kind of like to work a little bit of blues into these things. It's kind of cool because it starts off, I always kind of think of it as the notes just sort of fall into place, and the end result is an E7th chord, but it doesn't start as an E7th. It kind of builds to one. And so what you're doing for that is you're starting with an E chord here in the first position. I'm going to assume you know how to make an E chord in first position. If you don't, there's a million references for that. But to take an E chord and make it an E7th chord, all you do, this is kind of hard to show here, but all you do is you take your pinky and you come up here, you keep everything, keep your first 3 fingers, and then you take your pinky and come down here to the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and put it down there. That makes an E7th chord. So you can hear it's got kind of a bluesier feel to it. It's nice. So to play this chord in the song, the first thing that happens is you're going to fret the E chord, and then you're immediately going to take your pointer finger off the fretboard, and you're going to play strings. These are both open strings. You're going to play string 3 and 6 at the same time, like this. And I use my thumb and pointer finger on the right hand. Now as soon as I do that, I hammer on with my left hand. I hammer on to the 1st fret, 3rd string with my pointer finger, like this. Okay? Now after that, then I take my thumb and I come up to the 4th string and play that, keeping the E chord down, so it's like this. Okay, now I take my ring finger and I come up here and play the 1st string. And then I introduce my pinky on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and I use my middle finger to play it with the right hand. And it's kind of nice to let some of these strings ring out. Hear how they're kind of all clashing, but it just sounds nice. So that's the E7th part. Alright, so let me play the D minor leading up to it. So we have... Now I come to the A minor chord, which goes like this. I start by playing just the A minor chord. I'm playing the middle 4 strings on the guitar, and I'm just making an A minor here in first position. I'm going to assume you know how to do that. I kind of do it like this. So I start with my thumb on the 5th string, and really quickly, or if I slowed it down, this is what it sounds like. That's something, if you're new to fingerstyle, that you may not be able to kind of do it in sequence like that. And if you can't, just do it like this. Just kind of get them all at once. Whatever you can do to make the timing not stop. You don't want to get to that point and kind of struggle if you're trying to play this for someone. You want it to be pretty seamless. So that's how I did that. Just practice it. Then I come up here and I play the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and I use my pinky for that. You may want to use your ring finger, whichever's easier. And then I did a slide all the way up to the 5th fret, 2nd string. I like sliding that. Now I could have done it this way. I could have went and just played that open first string, but it doesn't have the same soul. It sounds too robotic. That versus... It just sounds more organic to kind of slide in the note. It sounds like the human voice, like you're trying to slide up and hit a note as opposed to just, you know, an open string. So if I ever get a chance to slide to a note, I'll always pick that route instead of just sort of playing the note. I think as much character as you can introduce to your playing, the better it sounds. And it's those little things that that are what give you your sound, or give you, and it's, you know, some people could make an open string work better than I could, but I like to slide into notes. Okay. After you come up here and play that, then I come back to the first fret, second string. Alright, so then after the A minor part, we come back to the D7th part. And the way that I do that is, really I'm just playing, and we've already learned this chord, how to fret it this way, but all you need is the middle finger on the second fret, third string, and the pointer finger on the second fret, sixth string. From a fretting perspective, that's all you need. And then with the right hand, you're going to play string 6 with the thumb and 3 with the middle finger. Pointer finger comes to the 4th string, the open D string. Then we're back to the 3rd string, and then back to the 4th string. So together it sounds like this. And again, the reason I'm letting the last note be that is so that I can take my hand off the fretboard and put it in position to play the next chord. Okay, so then after that, then I come up and play a... And what that is, that's a C minor 7th chord. And really kind of it gives a little bit of a different feel this time by adding that note. It's very easy to play though. I'm just barring the 3rd fret, and middle finger comes down on the 4th fret, 2nd string, and then ring finger comes down on the 5th fret, 4th string. Really, it's the same as the C minor chord that we learned before, but the difference is it doesn't have the pinky. So if you want a quick way to do it, just make a C minor chord and take your pinky off. And you just get a little different feel. That's a C minor. This is C minor 7th. Okay? And so the right hand is just strings 5 and 2 at the same time. You can see which fingers I'm using. Then I'm going to do string 4, 3, and 2. Okay, then after that, then I play an F. It's an F7th chord with an A in the bass, so it sounds like this. And the way that I'm fretting that is I take my pinky and I put it on the 4th fret, 2nd string. My middle finger comes up here to the 3rd fret, 4th string. And then my pointer finger comes down on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. And I'm playing those middle 4 strings. And so it's just an F7th chord, but it's got an A in the bass. So the way that I'm playing it with my right hand is I'm playing strings 2 and 5 at the same time, thumb and ring finger. Then I'm going to play string 4, 3, and 2. So we have, let's back up to the C minor 7th. So we have, then we have this. Now we're going to come down and we're going to play an A sharp major 7th. And here's how it sounds. It's really cool. And to create that, what I'm going to do is we'll start with the pinky. I'm going to put my pinky on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Middle finger goes down on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. Ring finger goes down on the 3rd fret, 4th string. So you have those 3. And then you take your pointer finger and go down to the 1st fret, 5th string. And when you play just those middle 4, you get that, and that's an A sharp major 7th. Nice chord. It's got kind of a very jazzy. You can slide that chord up and down the neck and get some really nice jazzy chords. So what I'm doing with so that's the left hand. The right hand goes. So what I'm doing is I'm doing strings 2 and 5 with my thumb and ring finger, playing those at the same time to start with. Then I go to string 4, string 3, back to string 4. We're just going to now kind of go back and forth between strings 4 and 3 with my pointer finger and middle finger. So 4, 3, 4. With the left hand, take your middle finger off the fretboard. Keep everything else so that you can get this sound. Back to 4, 3, 4. So let's do it slowly. So we have 4, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. Notice that it's just 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4 with the right hand. And what changes that sound is by taking the middle finger off the fretboard with the left hand. So here it is slowly, without me talking over it. Okay, and then we just repeat, which we've all learned. And then you get to here, to that F7th with a A in the bass, and that's where you would naturally go right back to the intro. Or to the first part, I should say. And so it's just a nice little, there's kind of 2 parts, and they're very repeatable, and you can easily go, you can go jump back to the beginning. And you could just kind of repeat it. And one other thing I should mention is the timing. It's this is the kind of thing that if you set a metronome to it, it's gonna, I think, take some of the soul out of it. And by that I mean, what makes something like this work, at least in my head, is kind of speeding up and slowing down, and it's kind of. It's just kind of play with the time and let it tell you when to speed up and slow down. I know it sounds corny, but I can't think of a better way to say it. So that's all the parts for this. There's a lot to it, but when you look at it, it's really kind of some simple chords and a lot of repetition with the right hand. And hopefully this gives those of you that are new to fingerstyle, or maybe you've never tried it, something fun a fun way to kind of get started. And even if you are a fingerstyle player, this is a nice little melody to learn. All right, well, that's all I have for this week's lesson, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to know when I have future lessons and just be in the loop on that, you can like me on Facebook at facebook.com/activemelody, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/activemelody. We'll see you in next week's lesson.